You mentioned the January 6th committee. So, between its closing sprint and the sort of, hit the ground running investigative approach of DOJ Special Counsel Jack Smith, the pace of the former president's legal troubles, the pace, seems to be accelerating. So, criminal referrals are coming. It looks as if the 5 core people who were named, let's see if I have my referral bingo card in play, but Eastman, Clark, Giuliani, Meadows, and El Capitan in the center. Let me start here because we all do TV, and every single time I faced, I'm sure you have too, a half a dozen versions of the question: will this really move DOJ? Will this make Merrick Garland have to bring charges? Let's just stipulate the answer to that is no. DOJ will exercise independent judgment. And so the follow-up question is, does that make the referrals in some way an empty or even inappropriate gesture?
No. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, just by the same token that once McCarthy and Trump essentially blocked having an independent commission, there was a lot of argument that, well, if it's just going to be in the House and it's just going to be, run by the Democrats, then what's the point of ever doing it? Well, we've seen the point. They've uncovered a ton of stuff, and there needs to be a finale to it. There's going to be a report, which I'm really looking forward to. That's going to, I guess, officially be published on Wednesday, even though the meeting is on Monday. And so people will be able to see it for themselves. But part of finishing the job, I think, is saying, in our judgment, what we've seen dictates that we do this for the country.
And is that the audience basically here, not the DOJ, but the country?
Harry, you're short selling the power.
It's a question
of these. No, it was also when you were setting the premise. Yeah. The DOJ, both of us know Merrick. Jack Smith, and others at DOJ would not be influenced at all by a mere statement charge. We know already that DOJ made a U-turn because of the Cassidy Hutchinson testimony. The committee has not done things in a political way. They've done it in a substantive and a prosecutorial way. They have amassed a trove of evidence. If they accompany that with serious legal analysis, applying the law to the facts, that will be read on the merits as a factual and legal presentation. And if it's persuasive, it'll weigh in. These are very tough cases of the criminal risk that Trump is facing now. Mar-a-Lago, much easier case. There's 100+ smoking guns in that case. The Georgia criminal case, which I think is going to move soon, against Trump, there's that smoking gun tape of him.
Gotta love that.
There's no smoking gun in this. This is election denial gone criminal to its logical extreme by Trump and his cronies. You have to accumulate a lot of evidence. You have to do incisive legal analysis. In a case that is hard, where it's on the bubble, I think that can help persuade, on the merits, can help persuade DOJ. And also, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do if they don't charge. And that's a good thing that they feel that pressure. So I think because of the uniqueness of the way the committee has done it, very, very powerful.
Hey, everyone. We're taking a quick break to ask you to take a second to like and subscribe. It's a quick thing that really helps the show. Thanks, and back to the video.
Well, not to be like the usual journalist, but like the transparency here is so critically important, and that's not what you usually get out of DOJ. So the fact that we've been able to watch chapter by chapter, and I say that now because the 8 chapters that we're probably going to get on Wednesday probably track pretty closely to the several themes that we saw in each hearing this summer. The fact that we know each of the different points that they laid out, where a lot of the evidence was that they thought would rise to the public level. I'm really interested in reading the appendices, seeing what information we get in the transcripts. I think all of us nerds who have followed this so closely are like, let me dig into that, please. But I also think that it does allow, even if DOJ makes its own decision on the merits, the public can now say that didn't feel like the right decision not to prosecute there. And we already know that this committee, even if them sending referrals is just like, a nice Dear Santa letter that doesn't actually go anywhere tangibly, we know that they had a real stamp and a real mark on what the work of the DOJ has been. So we know the blueprint now in a way that we don't often know about these kinds of cases. And I think that's really great for the public.
I think that there's 2 points there that have been really important.
Yeah.
Number one is reminding us of the big picture and tying it all together, because even as they were doing the earlier hearings, it's like, oh, I remember that when it happened, but I didn't realize how it all tied together. So they've performed that function really well. And then I know that a big commitment of the members is that they want this to be transparent. They're going to put it all out there, both so that people can judge themselves and so that it can't be buried by another administration.
And also so Republicans can't say, oh, look what you didn't do. Obviously, the information that they've developed will, of course, be valuable as information is. And I agree, even the analysis, but DOJ will replicate it. I guess the bigger point, and maybe you would call my question somewhat rhetorical, is that the value of this shouldn't be judged by its probability of nudging or shoving DOJ in that direction. There are elected representatives. They perform this indispensable function of a compendium of a record that of one of the 2, 3, or the most harrowing challenges to democracy in the country's history. And this is the word I like that you used, Norm, was accompanying. This is a companion piece in a sense. It would almost be discordant if they didn't follow through. And they're lawmakers, they're lawyers, they're prosecutors, their judgment matters. Something else I really like about it too. Well, the day after, there's going to be these 5 pictures, and Trump, of course, but the evidence they've gathered, I'm thinking especially of the Meadows text that came out in the last week, really push away from this narrative of a mad king in the center doing all these things. It was a conspiracy. It was concerted. And all the president's men aspect of Eastman, Clark, Giuliani, and especially Mark Meadows, who really has skated so far, I think is a huge national service, the same way the actual convictions of Haldeman, Ehrlichman, and the like were in Watergate. So bringing that to the fore and calling it what it is, a crime, is just a very big and to my mind completely appropriate public service, notwithstanding its impact on the DOJ. I guess that's the those are where my cards are. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.